Hello fellow students, hello the instructor, hello Philippines, and hello world. I am Hazel Didiloria, a first-year college student of Rizal Memorial State University under the program of Bachelor of Arts in English Language Studies. And for today's video, I will be discussing my PowerPoint presentation and the external history of English in America, where the content of this presentation was based on my concept map on the external history of English language in America by identifying the factors that influence its development. So that's enough for the intro. I just set up my PowerPoint presentation and we're good to go. Okay, so before we start, let me just say a few reminders. Some of the words may or may not be readable because I am just using my cellular phone. However, if you want to have the copy of this PowerPoint presentation, you can just ask me. So let's get started. Okay. So, English in America. Okay, the external history of English language in America. So that is our topic for today's PowerPoint. As what I have said earlier. Next. Okay. Now, by observing the picture, what can you observe? There is an American people who is invading another country or new, what we call this American settlement or American settlers. Next, okay, the English settlement in America, since we're talking about everything about in America. Okay, now, the early English settlement. Okay. The English language was brought to America by colonists from England who settled along the Atlantic seaboard in the 17th century. It was therefore the language spoken in English at that time. The language spoken by Shakespeare and Milton and Bunyan, three distinguished European immigration takes place in this country, namely in 1790, when the last of the colonies ratified the federal constitution and the first census was taken. So in this early English settlement, William Shakespeare, Milton, and Bunyan, these three people who contributed the language in America at this settlement, at this era. And also, as what you can see in the PowerPoint, in 1970, when the last of the colonies ratified its federal constitution. Now, to further understand the topic, let's proceed. Okay, the English settlement in America. Next, this by observing the photo, you can see that it is very in that era, the American era. Okay, outside the patterns of European immigration was the first immigration of Africans through the slaves trade that began in the 17th century and continued until the mid-19th. There are presently some 25 million African Americans in the United States, mostly settled in the South and in the larger cities of the North. Finally, the influx of Mexican, Puerto Rican, and other Hispanic immigrants during the mid-20th century caused a sharp increase in migration, both legal and illegal, to the United States. Okay, so in this slide, it talks about how the English settlement in America was brought in that time, and also it talks about in the 17th century it continued until the mid-19th. So the timeline of this settlement was that huge enough to conquer or to develop the English language in America. Now next. Okay, this is the main topic of this PowerPoint. As what I have said earlier, the factors that influence the development of English language in America. So what are these influence that develop the English language in America? Now, in the next succeeding slides in this PowerPoint presentation, you will know. So, okay. The first one is the 13 colonies. Second is uniformity of American English. Third is archaism. Fourth is early changes in vocabulary. Fifth is national consciousness of America. Number 6, Declaration of Independence. 7, Webster's influence on American language. And last, the American dialects. Now let's proceed to the 13 colonies. Okay. Now, as you have seen in these slides, there are a map and also there are names of these countries. We have Connecticut, New Jersey, Delaware, Maryland, Virginia, North Carolina, South Carolina, and the next, okay, this is the 13 colonies. Next. Okay, New England. Now, these 13 colonies, it was subdivided into 3 parts. Its first part is New England. Okay. New Hemisphere, or the New England colonies. Its parts are New Hemisphere, which is the green part, and then the Massachusetts, the Rhode Island, and the Connecticut, and yes, Massachusetts Bay, earliest settlement and the stronghold of English Puritanism. Connecticut in 1634, Rhode Island, New Hampshire showed slow settlement because of the greater resistance by the Native Americans. So, as what have you observed in the picture, it clearly says that Massachusetts holds the biggest amount of this earliest settlement in America, while this New Hampshire, as what you can see, it is very little compared to Massachusetts. Okay, so next. Now the second part of 13 colonies is the Middle Atlantic states. So what are the states, by the way? Okay, we have New York, Pennsylvania, New Jersey, and Delaware. Okay, New York, Dutch settlement in 1614. New Jersey, almost wholly English. Delaware, river colony of Quakers. Pennsylvania, English Quakers. Welsh, Scotch, Irish Germans. Maryland, settlement of English Catholics, later outnumbered by Scotch, Irish, and Germans. Now, what are these English Quakers? Welsh, Scotch Islands, Scotch, Irish, Germans. These are the people who represents this Middle Atlantic states. So this is there are again 1, 2, 3, 4 sub parts of this middle colonies, or the Middle Atlantic states. Okay, next, or the last one, the third one, we have the South Atlantic states. So what are the South Atlantic states? We have Maryland, Virginia, North Carolina, South Carolina, and Georgia. Okay, Virginia, North Carolina, South Carolina, English settlers and French Huguenots. Georgia, originally settled by English Debsters. So as what can you observe in the picture, they are divided equally, okay, not compared to the first part of the colonies. The Massachusetts and the Hampshire have this huge gap of the American settlers. Now, okay, now let's proceed. Next is as what have you observed in the picture, there is a unity or the uniformity of the people. Now, okay, the uniformity of American English. So what is uniformity? By the way, let's just unlock some words. Uniformity is the state of being uniform or being as one. Okay. Okay. How American English people work with language in uniformity. Now, before tackling on that part, let's just observe in the picture here. Welcome to America, now speak in English. So what can you say about the picture? It talks about that we need to speak in English in order to become an American settlers or an American citizen. Of course, if you want to go in that places, especially in the United States, you must learn how to learn or speak in English. So that is one of the most important we must do. Not just only if we want to go to there, but also if you want to be competent in the world. Now next, okay, accent and accent native, it's part of this language uniformity. Okay, English spoken in America shows a high degree of uniformity that sets apart from the pronounced dialectical differences from different parts of England. It was even noted that the mass of people speaks better English than the mass of people in England. This is to say that there was a more general conformance to what is to be an educated standard, the merging of regional differences through the mixture of the population characterize the American people. Now, as what I have said earlier, you must learn how to speak in English. Now, in that part, we don't only need on how to speak in English, we must need to know also how to say it properly, or the enunciation, the diction, as well as the grammar, and everything that is part of the English language. Now next, okay, this one. There, she said, how is that? Do I kiss the better for whom the bell tolls by Ernest Hemingway. So what have you observed in the in the slide? It is the word the or thee. So what is that word? Oh my god, it is an archaic word. Now, and for more information, Mr. Ernest Hemingway, did you know that Mr. Ernest Hemingway was one of the authors who ever wrote the shortest story ever written? It composes only 6 words. It is for sale, for shoes never worn. So it is only 6 letters, and it is considered as the shortest story among time. Okay, so anyway, that's enough. So let's proceed into our topic, archaism. So what is archaism, by the way? You will know that later on. Okay, what is the definition of archaism? Oops, Daisy. Okay, a second quality often attributed to the American English, the preservation of old features of the language that have gone out of the use in the standard speech of England. Okay, so it means that it is old features of language in English. Okay, now later on in this video, you will know what are these examples of archaism or archaic words. I will explain that. Okay, this one.